So, you're ready to hire a salesperson. You know, a lot of us, when we first get started in franchising, typically do the franchise sales ourselves. And that often is the way that it's going to go for the first year or 2 years while you're growing the organization. But as you grow the organization, it's going to be incumbent on you to start hiring people. And one of the people that you might want to start thinking about hiring as you get bigger and as you start getting more aggressive with your franchise sales goals is the franchise salesperson. And when we're talking about the franchise salesperson, what I tell people to do is to always think about the hiring decision in terms of the present value of a franchise. And to me, this is a real important principle to use in any kind of decision making when it comes to franchising. Because a lot of people, when they look at franchising from the standpoint of the short-term cost of making a hire or the short-term cash flow issues, but they don't look at the long-term. And in franchising, what we're really talking about is an annuity. And it's the annuity of that person's value over time, or that franchisee's value over time. So when we talk about the present value of a franchise, what we're talking about is add up all the franchise fees, the royalties, the product and equipment sales, the advertising fees, the other revenue, take out any direct expenses, discount it to today's dollars, and what you've got is a lifetime value of that franchise. And when you think about making a hiring decision, especially when it comes to sales, keep that person's or that franchisee's present value in mind. Think about it from this standpoint. If you've got a graph here, and on one side you've got franchise sales, and the other is over time. Let's say that the average franchise salesperson is somewhere right in the middle there. Well, that average franchise salesperson, maybe they leave your organization, maybe that was you when you're trying to replace yourself. Now you've got to replace somebody. If you bring in an inexperienced franchise salesperson, they may be at the bottom rung here, and they may take a while to ramp up. And so what that means is when you bring in that inexperienced person, you're going to have lost sales as compared to bringing in an experienced franchise salesperson who's going to ramp up much faster. And so what ends up happening is that those lost franchise sales, if the present value of each one of those is $100,000 or $200,000 or $1 million over time, each one of those is a substantial loss. And so there's a real value to going out and hiring this experienced franchise salesperson that oftentimes far exceeds the costs that are associated with recruiting that person and far exceeds the incremental cost associated with that person's salary. So a lot of times people get put off by, oh, this person's salary is $100,000 or $125,000 base and it's going to go up from there. But if they can bring you one incremental franchise sale, and that one incremental franchise sale over a period of time is going to be worth $100,000 or $200,000 or $300,000 or more dollars, well, it seems to me that that's a pretty good hiring decision to get the more experienced person. If they bring you one more franchise sale a year, if they get to that point that much faster. Now think about it from the standpoint of, let's say you go out and you hire a franchise superstar. Remember, if you hire that franchise superstar, they may get to a level that's even better than that average franchise salesperson. And if they are above that level, think about what that means for you in terms of incremental revenues to the organization. Again, think about that present value of a franchise. Looking at those incremental revenues, and again, remember the annuity value of that franchise revenue stream. And what you'll end up with is you'll realize that it pays to hire the best. Sometimes that means that you're going to have to hire a recruiter, and we've got relationships with recruiters here at the iFranchise group that give us discounts, or give our clients discounts, I should say. And sometimes that means that you're going to have to pay a little bit more. But if that ultimately means you can grow the organization faster, you can ultimately sell more franchises, and you can ultimately develop that annuity stream sooner, it's really worth it from the standpoint of developing your organization.